Computer. Okay. I want to welcome to the show today Tina Ginn. And Tina is a professional app developer and financial expert and best-selling author. And she is the creator of the backup plan. And she shares everything she's learned about emergency preparedness. And I'm really excited to have you on the show today to share more with us, Tina, share more of what you do, share more with us about creating your own backup plan. And so if you didn't mind, do you mind just kind of introducing yourself and sharing more about yourself with us?
Sure. Thank you, Kristy, so much. And thank you, listeners, for coming out today to listen about something that is never spoken about. It's never discussed. It's one of those things where it happens to all of us, but we don't really want to prepare for. So in my career that I've been having all my life, I went first into, I'm a Microsoft certified systems engineer, so I have the computer background. And then I went into insurance. And I'm in the financial industry here in Canada. Although, what I found that was just pulling at my heartstrings when I've had this experience, and then having the experience with friends and family. When something happens to someone, everyone goes into this mode of fear and anxiety and emotion and sometimes anger, and they fight with each other, or sometimes partners, husbands, wives, sometimes more of the family. And I could just kind of see that happening. And I thought, it doesn't have to be that way. It doesn't, something when you get the cancer word, or if someone in your family's had a stroke, and whether it's yourself and you're in recovery, or you've gotten COVID this year, and you're in ICU, or someone that has been in a coma. All of these different things pulled on my heartstrings, and I knew I had to do something that helped people both get better prepared and heal. And you can't heal unless you take some of those stresses away. And by taking the stresses away, you are then able to actually be in the moment of helping that person that's sick, that's injured, that's needing you there, whatever the scenario might be. They might have lost their house in a fire, or they might have, had a flood overnight, and now everybody's looking at each other. What do we do? It's all of those different tragedies in our life, a car accident, a motorcycle accident, any debilitating tragedy in your life. And we see it around us each and every day. Every week we hear it on the news. We either are touched by someone in our family or a friend contact list. So I knew I had to do something. And so I created your backup plan first in a big, huge workbook. It was a binder. And I found people not really interested in doing it because it was so much paperwork. No one likes paperwork. Nobody likes income tax. Nobody likes to have to do any of those things. So in my knowledge, I knew I took about a year before that to kind of assess what it needed. And I knew it had to come into an app that made it easy for you to pick up your phone or your tablet and click on it, click a picture, click a message, put information in. So even just keeping a record of your health, it's funny, Kristy, because I used to ask my clients, what about the last surgeries that you've had? Or what about, when was the last time you got sick? Hardly anyone remembers that. We can't, was that in 2015, or did I have it in 2000? I can't remember. So, it's all that kind of stuff. So when you go to the doctor's office, you click on the app and you start putting in, at doctor, blah, 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 and my symptoms are blah, blah, blah. And then you go see the doctor. When you come out, you take a picture of your prescription or you put in a note, follow up, whatever. So then all of a sudden now you're just making these little notes, and it's your own health. It's your own health care. It's your own medical, there's so much to the app that those are only little tiny things that you can use every week. It will say, do you have a current will? And it will help guide you through that process. It will say, do you have any life insurance? Do you have home insurance, and when is it due? And then the notification will pop up and say, hey, Tina, your home insurance is coming up for renewal next month. Do you want a quote for that? Or do you,
Yeah.
it will ask you for the new information. So, so when something happens with your home, the first thing that happens is the insurance company wants to know what happened. And then they want to know, what did you have in the house?
Oh, yeah.
So I don't know about you, but if I had to close my eyes and try and think of the things that were in each of the rooms, I wouldn't get very far, honestly, because it takes time, because all of a sudden you might be driving down the road and say, oh yeah, I had that in there too. And oh yeah, I had that. So it's very comprehensive, and it enables you to take photos if you don't have receipts, because insurance companies wants a receipt, or two, a photo, so that they can ensure that they are given the proper information, as well as being able to pay you back what you deserve, not what they think you had. So it helps in that way. Also, you can take photos, and while you're taking the photo, it might be a collection, it might be an art collection, it might be special furniture, it might be jewelry, anything like that, where you can also put a note on it and say, I think I want to give that to Susie, and I think I want to give that to John. So that all of a sudden now you're just taking what you're already doing for your home insurance and now implementing and putting in notes of what you'd like to have done with those items if something happened to you. So it's it just kind of works and flows really well, and even as little as contact information. You know, we might have a contact book, which is all right, and you could take a photo of that and put down where it's located, and in case your spouse or partner or sister, brother, if you ended up in the hospital, who does your family contact? You know, we're in this world now where we all have our own worlds. Your husband has his own world, and you as a wife have your own world, or if you're single. So I'm part of associations that my spouse or partner would never know that who to contact. I'm part of sections of Facebook or other different affiliations. My partner would never know to contact them. So it's all of these types of things where you can really get organized in your life. And it, of course, is very passionate to me. But, you know, Kristy, I took it one step further, because you can get the app and it's very inexpensive. It's only $5.99. But on top of that, you could do it yourself. But if you want to delve into something even more, your backup plan is coming out with the Emerging Blueprint. And it's a program that you can become a member of, and a one-time fee. You don't have to pay each month. And you get unlimited templates, huge amounts of worksheets for each section, each module. You can print them off. You can take them to your next family gathering and say, hey, I've got my worksheet for my family conversation. And all I have to do is go down the worksheet and tick off what the questions are, write down notes. And then that way you have now implemented not only your own backup plan for yourself, but now you're helping those people around you. because now it might be with your parents. I don't know, Kristy, we're kind of in that generation where our parents don't want to tell us anything. And it gets really difficult to get anything out of them, other than maybe, do they have a will? Yeah, yeah, that's about it. Like, you don't get, where is it? And you don't want to be waiting, which I've been called numerous times for clients, when the parent is lying in the bed and they're dying, and you are trying to find out, where do they bank? Where are their accounts? Where's this? Where's that? Where are the keys? Like, as little things. What vet does your cat go to? What kind of cat food do they eat? There's so many things. If they're sick or dying, you need to know these things. You need to have that extra key so someone can come into your home when you're not there. And so it's all these emergency kind of preparedness items that I've put together in the app. There's even an emergency kit that you can do a checklist for, where your shutoff valves are for where you're living. All of these types of things. It's very exclusive.
Wow, that sounds incredible. And I have to tell you that not long ago, well, we live in an area that's affected by wildfire. So it was a couple years ago, we were under not quite mandatory evacuation. We thought we were going to have to be. And when you were going through talking about the insurance company won't pay for anything unless you have, a receipt or a picture. I remember as I was packing things up, trying to figure out what needed to go, what didn't. I was also at the same time running around the house, taking pictures and videos of things, because both my husband and I, like you said, we've never kept receipts. We've never even written down what's in our home. We don't know, we have so much in there. And and that was, our way of just, okay, I'm going to run through here really quick and we'll come back and revisit this later if we need to. So just thinking about, knowing about this app now and knowing that, there's something out there that it could have already had that information and not had to be running around the house like a frantic person. This sounds incredible. It just reminds me almost of like a giant filing cabinet for your life, just contained within this one app. So I'm really excited to go check this out.
And the program in itself, as you can say that, where do people keep most of their documents, do you think?
Mine are like shoved in a box up in a closet. There might be a box out in the garage. Like literally it's shoved in a box somewhere that's put away for me.
Right. Yeah. Sometimes people, like I say, well, you might be in that drawer or that drawer or that closet
Yeah.
or that filing cabinet, and I've even had clients where they found stuff in garbage cans, like in the room, like piles. You know how people clean up and they'll put stuff on top of the garbage can or whatever.
Yeah.
And so and I try to, in one of the modules in our program, we help you provide solutions for security, because even keeping it in the closet, well, you can grab it maybe easily, but it's certainly not waterproof or fireproof
Yeah.
point. And a filing cabinet isn't either. And it's not even secure unless you lock it, and hardly anyone ever locks their filing cabinet. So we talk about theft too, because when your home gets broken into, they're not really looking for the old types of assets. They're not looking for jewelry and TVs and video machines, like they used to, grab and take. They're looking for your identity now. They're looking for documents that have something that they can sell easily. So that's where I want to say, okay, let's put all your important documents together, and this is how you do it. And this is where you're going to choose where to put it. You pick, but at least it has a form. And I guide you right through step by step, all that whole process. So yeah, it's cool. And the last module is like my ultimate favorite, because it's called the treasure box. So when you're going through your life, it's nice to think that you could do poetry, write a song, play music, um, act, write stories, do blogs, whatever it is, bake, share recipes, your favorite recipes, pass down recipes, maybe something with handwriting on it, things that smells. We touch all of the different things you can feel, touch, and see and hear, because when the person goes, you want to hold on to that with your dear life. You want to hold on to that smell. You want to hold on to that feeling. You want to hear their music, or you want to hear their poems, or you want to hear their story, or you want to see their writing or their artwork that they did, or whatever it is. Because I also went to a funeral and I thought, you know, his two children in the funeral home will remember him, the dad, but their children won't, and their children won't, and their children won't. And so I wanted to put something together that was the fun part that you could start adding to. Maybe you want to pick a time each month where you say, I'm going to add something to my treasure box this month. Or maybe you want to do it on an annual basis. Every year you put something in, or just on celebrations or special time or events or whatever that is. But everybody likes keepsakes and things. So yeah, it's the real fun part of the whole thing.
That sounds incredible. Did you have, was there kind of a personal story for you that really inspired you to set this up? I know that you've had several twists and turns, throughout life, but was there something in particular that really kind of inspired this idea of this app for you?
Seeing people in my life, one particular one with a friend of mine who she just turned 60, and her and her husband had a small business, a dollar store in a small town. And he had called me one day and said, Tina, um, Mary has to go into the hospital for tests, and I can't stay around. I have to go back to the store. Would you be able to drive her home after? I said, sure, just call me and I'll pick her up and I'll drive her back. So he called and said, she's not coming home. They have to do more tests. So this went on for 3 or 4 days. And then we found out that she had lung cancer. And all she knew was that she couldn't get rid of, it was around Easter time, and she couldn't get rid of a cough. It just kept on staying and lingering, and she didn't know why. So that's what she had gone in for, and she wasn't feeling well and found out that she had lung cancer. And each week, she lasted 6 weeks. And every time I went in to see her, it's the scariest feeling, because when you go up in the elevator and you get onto the floor, you're like, oh God, how's she going to be this week?
Mhm.
And it just progressively got worse. And she was on oxygen. And, even she said a few things to me. It's so many years ago, and it still touches your heart. But she said, Tina, I just want to go outside and feel the fresh air and hear the birds. And it's such a stupid little tiny thing,
It's not though. It's something we all take for granted. Thank you for sharing that with us. Um, but it's something that we don't think about, the same as we don't think about everything that we've been talking about, here in your
Yeah.
backup plan. Um, we're so busy doing. We get so busy in the process of doing and going through life and trying to achieve things, or trying to hit goals, or trying to get somewhere, to go somewhere, that this is just that reminder to like your friend said, to slow down and just enjoy the breeze, just you know just to enjoy that. And the same, I feel like with the backup plan, you give, you know, you give people that peace of mind. You give people that, they know that they have all these things in place,
Yeah.
and now they can just enjoy and be and not have to worry about this extra layer of, what if something happens to me? What if this happens? What if that happens? And, what if I need to find this? Or what if my family needs to find this? So I really think that that's beautiful, because you're giving, like I said, that extra layer of just security and peace, so that we can be more in being and less in doing and trying to find things.
Yeah. And fear and anxiety.
Yes, and yes, the fear and the anxiety, because, you're talking about it, it sounds wonderful. And from my understanding, it sounds like, because somebody like me too, I'm a bit scatterbrained and all over the place. So when we talk about documents, and knowing surgery dates, and just even knowing passwords to my computer and email accounts and things like that, or knowing where paperwork is. So when I start thinking about, oh man, I'll have to gather up all this stuff to put it in one app, that can start feeling overwhelming for me, to the process of like, well, I don't even know where it all is. That sounds really overwhelming. I'm just not going to do it. So from my understanding, it sounds like maybe you walk through step by step, like, no, we're only going to focus on one thing at a time.
Mhm.
Is that kind of the way that it does work?
That's right. You do the first module. And really, I say to people, I really say you have to do the first module. And then after that, it doesn't matter what you pick. Because anything that you do in the program is going to benefit you more and more each time you do more of it. Because even if you had one thing done, it's more than what you would have done without it. And so I always say, the craziest part of it is the most important part is the billing part, your bills.
Mm,
Like even in a family where husband and wife, one person usually pays the bills
yeah.
and the other person doesn't. So it's like, well, if that person wasn't around, what does that look like? How do I know what accounts to use? Where are the accounts? And especially amongst family members, like if both of you were in a car accident, who's
Mm,
paying your mortgage? Who's paying, the rent? How do you pay the electricity bill? Um, and it was that aha moment that I had with my friend, that when she said that to me, I thought to myself, okay, well, I think if I wanted to be with someone that was sick or wanting to recover from a tragic injury, or the loss of your house is devastating, I would want to be there. I would want to be in the moment. I would want to be there to support them. And how can I do that from the outside? I thought, okay, let's put something together that empowers you to feel that you have peace of mind, that you have security. I think women all want security.
yes.
Majority of men are kind of, they're Superman and nothing's ever going to happen to them. But women are more like birds, and we want to nest and we want to make sure it's all safe and secure, and on the most part. And so when I first created it and I said, okay, let's get this stuff together, let's put your crap together, okay? People would say, well, what do I put together?
Yeah.
Like, what do I do? Like, do I know if I have everything? What is it what is it that I need? And so the program really helps you do that. And for those that want to learn more, there's videos. There's a library of videos that you have access to on wills and executors and home insurance, and how to read your life insurance policy, and how to read what you have at work, what coverage you have at work, and where to find that information. And how do I read a disability policy before something occurs? So it's just a open toolbox for you to have access to when you feel like it. If you're sitting by the fireplace or at the beach or wherever you want to, pick up an extra module or lesson or worksheet, or work on something that you feel that's important. And yeah, so it's not stern. It's not like, well, you have to do it. It's
Yeah.
just you pick and choose at the times that you feel. And the more you do, the more you get encouraged to do.
And then, like you said, the more of it you have there, because right now you're starting with nothing, maybe nothing. You have nothing together. You don't know, you don't have it all in one place. So even every little bit that you're able to do and make progress on is, one step further. This sounds so incredible. I have to tell you, I am definitely going to be going to check out more because I'm yeah, like I said, I'm one of those that it sounds overwhelming to me, but at the same time, this stuff is so, so important, especially if you want peace of mind, like you said, for yourself. As women, we like to know that there's a certain amount of structure, stability there, that
Yeah.
we have our ducks in a row as much as we can. And so, like I said, this just sounds incredible to someone like me who doesn't yet have, these things together or in one place. And like in the case of myself, you know, with my husband, he's the main provider. So, like you said, not knowing, he has some policies through work, but I'd have no idea what those are, where to go to get them. So, just in our talk there, I thought, wow, this is really important to start getting those things together. It's not a morbid thing. It's not like well, nothing's going to happen to me, we're still young, because like you said, this is life. This is
Mhm.
life. Of course we don't want these things to happen, but we never know what's going to happen. We could each probably tell a million stories of somebody we know that's gone through something, who that they could have benefited from something like this at that time. So
Absolutely.
if somebody was interested in checking this out, like myself, and hopefully some of our listeners, where are we going to be able to find you online at, or in the app stores at?
So I'll send you all that information, but it's www.yourbackupplan.ca. The app information is at the bottom. If you scroll down, there's different pages of testimonials about the app. This is also, um, there we, there we
Yep.
go.
I can see, yeah, a little QR code. It dimmed now.
Yeah, I guess you got to shine it at the right place. I'm not sure, but I'll send it to you guys anyways, and you'll have it. Um,
Awesome.
and you can just click on the QR code or the link.
Perfect.
And the emerging blueprint will be completed by the end of January, beginning of February. So that will be the new addition to the program. And I'm really excited about that because I feel people either aren't prepared or they think they're prepared.
Mhm.
And I could probably say you're not. I hate to say that. And I know something's going to happen to each and every one of our listeners at some point.
Mhm.
And why not be prepared for that in some shape or form? Not for the particular incident, but just the category of how it falls. So I always do a workshop. I'll have lots of webinars on Facebook and Instagram, on webinars where you can come on for free online and do a few different topics with us, have questions and answer periods, and just a discussion. And the biggest, most popular webinar that I have is just taking your wallet out of your purse and setting it down in front of you and not looking in the wallet. But then the next question is taking a piece of paper and then trying to write down what's in your wallet.
Yeah. Oh, there's a lot.
Because if you lost it, you know, that feeling,
Yep.
it's like, oh God, what did I have in my wallet?
I've
So,
done that. Yeah, where I've had false scares before, and it was just like, I don't even know everything that's in there.
nope. And it could be as little as your membership cards or your reward cards, but there's a lot of information on all that stuff. You know, there's codes and things that, so you don't want it in the wrong hands, that's for sure.
No, and if you're like my husband, you carry around your social security card in your wallet, and I'm like, stop doing that.
Yes. You should remember it, and that's it.
Yes. Yes. So I just have to thank you so much for being on, for sharing with us today. I feel like we've got, I know myself, I've got such a greater understanding now of this app. And I'm really appreciative that you talk to us more about why this is important. Because again, none of us are planning for any of these things to either go wrong or to need this emergency information or any of that. But this is life. We're going to be going through ups and downs. And like you said, everybody at some point, every single person that listens to this either has gone through or will go through some kind of a situation. So
Absolutely.
before we kind of closed out, did you have anything else that you had wanted to share or kind of any closing thoughts for us?
Well, the only thing that I thought of was the digital asset component that we all have now. We used to way back, say, Little House on the Prairie times. Your parents or grandparents used to take brown paper and roll up important documents, maybe property information, all that sort of stuff, and they'd wrap it up, and they usually stuck it in the rafters or in the basement rafters of your home. That's kind of their system that they had then. But believe it or not, we don't have any system now. And we have more in our lives than they did then, even.
Wow.
So I think with digital assets, it's even become even more of a huge hurdle because if Aunt Mary passes away and you go into her home, first you have to find everything, find information. And secondly, if she's not getting that bill sent to her apartment or home anymore, how do you know how to contact those people that are attached to electricity and heat and her accounts and her credit cards and her bills and all of that sort of stuff? If you don't know that information, it's not coming in that mailbox anymore. Where do you go for this information? How do you find it? And I've had people, having to pay to have computers broken into to be able to have access to their computer. So let's just get everything together, and I help you. There's a digital assets section where it just looks after that, because people have reward points that maybe are worth money. We have huge amounts of unclaimed money in both Canada, UK, Australia, United States. Unclaimed money is going up and up and up because our families don't know where we have our stuff. And so let's change that. Let's change that and make a difference.
Wow. So many great points. Because yeah, like you said, I wouldn't even have thought about things like rewards points or, um, sometimes even small refunds. When you talked about the unclaimed assets thing, I know there's a website that you can visit, and I can't remember the exact name of it, but my husband and I have done it over the years where we've gotten, found hundreds or maybe even thousands. The very first time that we did it, we found thousands of unclaimed dollars on there that we didn't even know that we had. And like, it was just random things from maybe refunds from a loan or times when we refinanced something. So, you know, all these additional things, rewards points, or, anything, any number of things. So I think that's this is just a really important thing for you to have in your life, especially for peace of mind for your family, peace of mind for yourself. So Tina, again, thank you so, so much for giving of your time and for being here on the show today.
Well, thank you for that opportunity, and thank you, listeners. I truly, truly appreciate it, and look forward to maybe having you come on a webinar or giving me a shout through email, or I'm available.